So here we are in the Cessna 177 Cardinal. I have a tablet here. This computer is actually not connected to the internet, so I have no data on it. I always just set it off to the side here where it can't be seen. But I have a third-party tablet that I use. My plugins, it's called AviTab. Okay, load chart. All right, normal procedures. This is the Cardinal 177 RG. That means we have a retractable gear. This is the document that came with this particular X-plane model. All right, so here we go. Checklist procedures, pre-flight inspection. We're going to skip the actual walk-around part. That'll be a topic for another video because you can do a walk-around in VR, which is pretty cool. All right, landing gear lever is down. Control wheel lock is removed. Ignition is off. Master is on. Fuel quantity, left is at 50%, right is at 50%. All right, we have a green light on our gear. Master's going off. And fuel selector is to both. All right, before engines start. Pre-flight inspection complete. Seatbelts. There's no seatbelt here, but I will pretend like there is. Fuel selector valve is on both. All right, radios, autopilot, electrical equipment's off, brakes. I've got my parking brake set. And on the sim, if you press either of the toe brakes, it will release the parking brake. That is a feature of the simulator, not a feature of the actual aircraft. Cowl flap is open. Landing gear lever down. Circuit breakers are in. All right, starting the engine. Mixture. Idle cutoff. Propeller is high RPM. Throttle is open 1/4 of an inch. Master's coming on. I turn the beacon light on with the master. That switch I flipped here accidentally when I was trying to grab for the master was the fuel pump. All right, now fuel pump is coming on. We're going to prime the engine. All right, we advance the mixture until we get a fuel flow of 6 gallons per hour. That is not modeled in the sim, but we're going to pretend like we're seeing that needle go to the 6. Idle cutoff, that is our prime. All right, looking around, don't see anyone under the prop. We're going to yell clear prop. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. That gives anyone who's under the prop a moment to get out from under the prop. By my mixture. All right, and I will advance the mixture as I start the engine. We have an engine start. We've got oil pressure and 10,000 RPMs. All right, auxiliary fuel pump's coming off. All right, so the next part's going to be before takeoff. In my normal workflow, I usually have a little taxi list that I'll do too. That's not in this document, however. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our avionics, our GPS, Navcom radio. We have an ADF here. I don't think we'll be using that. Transponder is going to be on standby. And we have an autopilot. I'm leaving that off. Okay. Flaps are up. Trim is set for takeoff. This airport is Fort Worth Spinks. Kilo Foxtrot Whiskey Sierra. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch up nearest. And it's right there. Enter. Oops. Okay, so now I should have airport information, and here are our frequencies. I'm going to be talking to ground, which is 119.475. Get that loaded in there. We'll also want the weather. We'll actually want that first. 120025. Get that loaded in there. Alright, I'm going to set my instruments.
1700 Zulu weather. Wind 010 at 8.
Artificial horizon.
More than 10. Sky
Airport
clear.
elevation is 700 feet right where I am.
0.5. Altitude 3002.
3002, and that is what is set.
35 left. 35 right. Departing runways 35 left.
35 is the active. 35 right.
Advise
35
on initial
left.
contact. You have Papa.
35 right is a grass field. 35 left is paved. This is information Papa, I believe. And I'm going to get the wind in there too. Alright. We are facing 260.
Information Papa. 1700 Zulu weather. Wind 010 at 8.
010.
Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 33. Dew point 5. Altimeter 3002. Arriving runways 35 left. 35 right. Departing runways 35 left. 35 right. Advise on initial contact. You have Papa.
Alright, with Papa. Alright, now we're going to be calling up ground. After ground, we're going to be talking to tower, so let's just go ahead and get them in standby. Okay. Call sign on this aircraft is just something I'm making up because I can't see the tail from here. And it's not placarded. It should be. Sphinx ground, Cessna November 123, Uniform Charlie is at the west ramp, ready to taxi with Papa. Request VFR flight following to Stephenville, Kilo, Sierra Echo Papa. 2500 type aircraft is a Cessna Cardinal 177. And then they call me back. Cessna November 123, Uniform Charlie, clear to taxi 35 left via Alpha Hotel. And please stand by for your transponder code. Taxi 35 left via Alpha Hotel, and we'll be waiting on that code. 3 Uniform Charlie. Alright, so we've just been cleared to taxi. They're going to be getting us a code in a moment. So here, I would release the brakes, but in the sim, it's released with parking with the toe brakes. So I'm tapping the toe brakes, give a little power, move forward. Alright. And watch out for these vehicles. Alright, I am showing a turn, also showing straight and level, no climb, no descent. Alright, now we're making a right turn, showing a turn in the right direction, still showing straight and level, no climb, no descent. Alright, and at some point, ground is going to get back to me saying, Cessna 3 Uniform Charlie, we have your transponder code, let us know when you're ready. Alright, so if I'm really feeling like multitasking, I would get that code from them. Usually I'll have a knee board where I'll write it down. Sphinx ground, Cessna 3 Uniform Charlie is ready to copy. Cessna November 123 Uniform Charlie, squawk 2442, regional departure on 135.907, and remain clear of class Bravo. We'll remain clear of Bravo, 135.907 for regional. Squawk 2442. Cessna 3 Uniform Charlie, read back correct. Alright, then I get my code in here. 2, 4. This is what makes my wife nervous when I'm looking down and driving at the same time. 2442. Alright. And we're heading out to Stephenville. They've got some good barbecue. Highly recommended. Alright, so we're going to get up here and do our run up. Alright, face a little more into the wind. Okay, that'll work. Set my parking brake. I'm getting my feet off the toe brakes, which if this were real life I'd leave them on the toe brakes, but I don't want to accidentally release the parking brake. And in the sim it's perfectly adequate. The parking brake is perfectly adequate to hold us here during the run up. Alright, so parking brake set, cabin doors closed and locked. They appear to be. Flight controls. Alright. Dipping to the left aileron's going up. Right aileron's going up. And the elevator up, backing up, and the rudder is left and right. Flight controls are free and correct. Alright. Rudder trim. I don't have an adjustment for that, but it looks like it's set. Elevator trim is set. I mean, I do have an adjustment. I can reach down here with my controller, but I don't have anything on my quadrant, my throttle quadrant. None of these switches are mapped to it. Fuel selector is on both. Throttle running up to 1800 RPMs. Okay. Alright, looking at all of our engine instruments. Suction's good, cylinder head temperature, oil pressure, oil temperature, everything showing green, amps. Looks good. Alright, so we're gonna check our left mag. It's showing a 100 RPM drop. Back to both. Alright, right mag is showing 100 RPM drop. Back to both. They're within 150 and 50 of each other. Alright, we're gonna cycle the propeller 3 times. Just kind of watching gauges and stuff. Oil pressure and all that. Alright. That does nothing for the sim, but in actual practice, that would cycle warm oil into the propeller hub. Okay, engine instruments. I got all these set during the taxi. Before the taxi. Make sure compasses, heading indicators correct with the compass. Section gauge, all that. Okay, we're good. Alright, we're going to do an idle check. Everything's still showing green. Engine's staying on. Alright, back up to 1,000 RPMs. So what we're going to do is we're going to put Stephenville in here. Get all this set up. Next we'll be talking to Tower, so I'm going to go ahead and get them punched in. And then we'll be talking to Regional, which is 13597. Okay. Enter. Alright, so we got that in there. I like my north up orientation. We did all of our run up. We had our lights and transponder set as we cross the threshold. Always do a little check then. Most people go with their lights camera action check. I'll do something similar. I usually do that, and then I usually add in flaps and trim too. Alright, so there's our run-up. We're going to do a briefing here. Engine failure on takeoff. If we have an engine failure before takeoff, then we will come to apply brakes, come to a stop, roll off the runway. If we have an engine failure after takeoff, but with adequate runway, we're going to land straight ahead. If we have an engine failure with inadequate runway, we will land straight ahead. Maybe a slight turn, 30 degrees left or right. And if we have an engine failure after takeoff, but after 1,000 feet AGL, which is going to be 1,700 feet, we will return to the runway. Alright, releasing parking brake, rolling forward. Alright, we got our frequency in there. We're going to talk to Tower. Sphinx Tower, Cessna November 123, Uniform Charlie, holding short runway 35 left, ready for takeoff. Cessna November 123, Uniform Charlie, clear for takeoff, runway 35 left turnout approved. Clear for takeoff, 35 left turnout approved, 3 Uniform Charlie. Alright, so we're going to start rolling forward. Look out here, make sure there's no one on the final. We're going to bring up our strobe lights. Our transponder is going to become altitude, flaps trim, and we have our clearance. Alright, open the throttle. Airspeed's alive. We're airborne. We've got positive rate, negative runway, gears coming up. And our gear is stowed. I'm starting my turn out here. We're going to be heading out to the west. We're going to perform an after landing checklist. After takeoff checklist, I meant to say. Climb checklist. And I usually prefer to lean at cruise. Alright. Look over here for our track. Cessna November 123, Uniform Charlie, contact regional 135.907. Going to regional 135.907 for Uniform Charlie. Alright, let's get a regional in here. We'll listen for a moment, make sure we're not stepping on anyone. 2,500 was the altitude I set this up for, and I flew right past that. Regional departure, Cessna November 123, Uniform Charlie at 2,500. Cessna November 123, Uniform Charlie, cross radar contact. Altimeter 3002. 3002, 3 Uniform Charlie. Cool. Alright, and so for the next video, I'll probably be doing something about cruise or approach or something. So, hope y'all enjoyed it. Meanwhile, I'm heading over to Stephenville. I'm going to get some barbecue.